Hello everyone, I am Erika of the storytellingjeweler.com and this is No One Has to Bead Alone, my usual Friday beading session to make sure that even when most of us are in home isolation and we can't travel and possibly don't visit beading classes, that we always have company and we can enjoy making beaded jewelry together. So this is a very, very special edition of No One Has to Bead Alone. It usually happens on my own Facebook page, The Storytelling Jeweler, Erika Sándor, The Storytelling Jeweler. However, as this month, in October 2020, I am honored to be the guest teacher in the Seed Beads and More group with about 16,000 enthusiastic beaders, then this broadcast now is happening at the same time on the Storytelling Jeweler Facebook page and in the Seed Beads and More beading group. So please don't be surprised. Usually I am putting comments on screen, questions on screen while I am answering them. So don't be surprised if you see me putting a question on screen or answering to someone and you don't see the question in the comments thread. Probably it's coming from the other place. I have an amazing little broadcasting program which makes it possible for me to broadcast at two places at the same time. I think it's amazing. I love technology. So I see many familiar faces already here. Corinne, Sarah, Tanya, Anita, Sherry, Donna, Teresa, Ula, Katie, Maria, Liv, Mektab, 85 beaders at the moment from all over the world. And I want to say that while I see everyone's names who are watching from my own Facebook page, if you are watching from the Seed Beads and More group, then I can't see your names automatically. So I just put a link into the comment, between the comments. And if you want me to see your name so I can say like, oh, hey, Eva, or whatever, then you need to click on the link and follow the instructions. You need to do it only once, and during today's broadcast and the 4 upcoming weeks, we will bead together altogether 5 times. You will never have to do it again. So yeah, I'm really excited. This is very, very special. And yeah, let's get started. I see also Kata and Niti, Mary-Ellen, Alice, Marion, Martin, Angelica, Anne, Beverly, Virginia. Hello, everyone. So before we would start beading, I would just want to tell you a little bit about No One Has to Bead Alone. So No One Has to Bead Alone started already in March, and usually about 50 to 120 or even more beaders from all over the world bead together. The broadcast is sponsored by me, Erika from the storytellingjeweler.com. And every week I prepare a completely new design for you that you can work on together with us. I try to use very basic shapes of beads to make sure that you can start right away. And everything, if you would need to restock, is available at thestorytellingjeweler.com. And we have beaded together many jewels already. And if you are new to our broadcast, then don't be surprised. We have already like lots of insider jokes, sometimes inappropriate, sometimes, yeah, you know how lockdown is. Sometimes we wear only yoga pants. We usually don't wear makeup. We drink lots of coffee. If you have ever seen a broadcast with me, then you know that there is no broadcast with Erika without coffee. So yeah, I would like to say welcome to our group and have fun with us. So the broadcast is accompanied by a printable file. You can print it right away, or you can save it to your computer to make it easier for you to follow the broadcast. It is, during October, it will be available at 3 places. Normally, it can be, you can download it in 2 ways. So it's already available in the Seed, Beads and More group. And I have a dedicated page to Friday's broadcast called No One Has to Be Alone on my own Facebook page. Again, I will put it into a comment, thestorytellingjuveler.com/no-one-has-to-be-alone/. And when you visit the page, then you can see that you have 2 options. So one option is to download the printable file for free, and then it is my helping hand and my gift for you during these times. And if you feel like, oh, this is something valuable, I like this, and I would like to maybe support this so we can continue every week, then there is also an option to buy it for a small fee. It's completely up to you. Also, I will be very, very grateful that if you bead the design, then please tag me, tell it to your friends that where did you bead it, if you had fun, and please share my page or write a review on my website, or maybe place an order at my website. I will be very, very grateful for every help. So thank you so much. In the meanwhile, Teresa, one of our regular beaders, says, don't worry, Erika, we will behave this month. I don't believe you, Teresa. And by the way, you don't have to behave. I think Seed, Beads and More beaders are prepared for us. They have met me already in May when we were beading together the traveler pendants. So I hope that they are not afraid. So you can already download the printable. And yeah, also Niti says, I cannot promise anything. So let's see. So today's topic is the Helga bracelet or bangle. It's up to you if you would like to add a clasp or not. And in October, we are learning the basics of right angle weave. Sorry, one of our insider jokes is that beaders are laughing at my pronunciation of different English words. As you might have noticed, I am not a native English speaker. I am a Hungarian from Slovakia living in the Netherlands. In the meanwhile, I also used to live in the Czech Republic and very briefly in Romania. I learned also Spanish, and all those languages, they are they have an effect on each other. So I blame it on that I have such a weird pronunciation. So, not wave, but weave. So right angle weave, and cubic right angle weave, and prismatic right angle weave. And all throughout October, I will be uploading different PDF files, I will be posting, I will be challenging you, and I will do my best to teach you the basics of these 3 beading stitches. They are extremely versatile. So not everything can be included, but I prepared 12 different finished jewelry projects for you. So even if you are a more experienced beader, I am sure that you will have fun, because besides repeating how to actually do it, even if you don't need the rehearsal, then you can finish 12 new pieces of jewelry. And the first one is the Helga bracelet. when we learn together the very, very basics of right angle weave. And in the meanwhile, also Teresa Rivers and Laura and Carol and Honey and Virginia joined us. Ladies, 114 of us. A bit more and we will be breaking records. It's exciting. So, before I would start to explain, Amy is also here from Bead and Glass Boutique. So before I would start to explain the basics of right angle weave and the Helga bracelet, I would like to just mention that during the past week, I managed to upload a new online Zoom workshop to my page. So if you think like, okay, kind of dig her style, I like what she's doing, then visit my page, find the online workshops, and you can sign up for the Adelaida necklace workshop. Many of the beaders here actually beaded it together with me during the Swedish bead along this last weekend. So ladies, if you feel like you would like to share how did you feel or how did you like the Adelaida workshop, then I would be very, very grateful. So let's get started. First, I would like to tell a couple of sentences about right angle weave or raw in general. All the 3 beading stitches that we are going to learn in October, they are based on geometrical shapes. And while cubic right angle weave and prismatic right angle weave, they work with 3D shapes, simple right angle weave, it is always building up designs using the simplest geometrical shape that we can bead from bead, and it is square. And imagine it. This month, I am inviting you to become little beady architects. And this is the first step on your journey as an architect. And imagine that first, we just want to do something very simple and we stick to drawing shapes. So that's why we will work only in 2D when working with right angle weave. And the squares that we are building, they always, the edges of the squares, they are always made of beads, of course. So for example, as you see on my picture, this little house, what I am beading here, every wall and the ceiling and the roof, they are made of fire polished beads. And then when I am beading more elaborate structures and I am connecting raw units, little squares to each other, then you see at the bottom, then I don't have to add and that then you see at the bottom then that some of the beads, they are actually parts of the first house and the second house, and then there is a bead that is part of the second house and the third house too. So imagine, just as when building a house next to another, you don't have to double the wall because the wall can be part of the first house and the second house too. Then with the raw units, one edge of the square, it will be part already of the next square too. So that is the basic logic behind right angle weave. And I will do my best so you learn with me how to do it. And in the meanwhile, we have new beaders, 122 at the moment with us. And Connie says that the workshop was wonderful and Frida also liked it. And Tanya, hello Tanya, she says, as every previous workshop, the Adelaida workshop was 3 hours of fun and the result is a beautiful necklace with lots of possibilities. Tanya is a veteran beader, also during my workshops and during my No One Has to Bead Alone sessions. Iris also liked the workshop. So that's what you can you can do with me if you sign up for my next online workshop. And back to the Helga bracelet. In the meanwhile, Sherry and Korean and Sarah joined us also. Hello, ladies. So, some things that are good to know. That are good to know when you are working with right angle weave. So, in general, please use FIRELINE or something similar as thread, because Nemo or a very, very thin beading thread, they just won't do in case that you are working with raw, CRO, or PRO. The structures, the little geometrical structures, they need to be sturdy. So that's why we need to stick to something strong. Also, since the thread is bending on the edge, on the corners, then it also needs to be strong to make sure that, for example, when you bead with crystals, then the crystals don't cut the thread. And hello, Maureen. And Renske says she sees only 63 persons. The reason is because I see both groups at the same time. So this broadcast is now happening on my personal Storytelling Jeweler Facebook page and in the Seed, Beads and More Facebook group. So altogether from the two groups, there are at the moment 125 beaders beading with me. I'm getting super nervous. I have to drink more coffee. Possibly I would also eat ice cream, but I can say from experience that it does not work well with a beading mat. I tried it. And Kata, thank you so much. Gunnar, when I see your name, then I always pronounce it in with Dutch pronunciation. This is what I was talking about, that one language is ruining like another. So, and Lutka and Hilly. Hello, ladies. Laura. So, back to the good to know tips. So when we are building the little squares, then I always advise to bead only through one bead at a time. We always want to hurry ahead. And of course, I have the urge to go through more beads at the same time. But when working with these stitches, it will not work out well, unless you are already very experienced with them. But if you are just starting out on your journey with these stitches, then I would recommend to always build only one wall or ceiling or floor at a time, okay? Let's agree on that. And tension is very important, so please keep good thread tension. And if you still think okay, this is floppy, I don't like this, something is not going well, then try pulling a little bit more and maybe repeating the thread pass. Especially in the Helga bracelet, we will not have a giant amount of thread passes, so don't be afraid. You can go around one more time. And about this, one more technical thing about the Helga bracelet. Since we are using MIYUKI TILA beads, then please make sure that both holes of the two-hole beads, the MIYUKI TILA beads, are empty. Sometimes they can be clogged, and it is a nasty surprise. This time, it is actually not that difficult to unpick the last bead when you discover that, okay, the second hole is not open, but it is something what you really want to get into your system. That I work with two-hole beads, I want to make sure that both holes are empty, because sometimes we go several times already through the first holes, and then we go for the second holes, and then it's like very, very, very unpleasant. So yeah, make sure that no holes are clogged. And yeah, we are nearly there. We are nearly there. Let's do a quick material check. Before we would start beading, I also want to be 100% sure that I have everything. And let's do it with me. Let's do it together. So, first of all, you will need a quite big bunch of 6mm round pearls. I use Czech glass pearls, but Swarovski would also work just fine in this case. Then you will need 3mm fire polished beads. Those are the dark bronze ones that you see on the edges of the bracelet. Then you need MIYUKI TILA beads, as I said, and I will use a beautiful mustard color. That's one of my favorites. And then you will need also number 15 and number 11 round seed beads, MIYUKI. If you would like to change to another bead shape or another size or Toho instead of MIYUKI, up to you, but you will need to do the experimenting part because the tutorial was tested exactly for these shapes and sizes. And you can always ask me a question and I will do my best to answer everything. And Anita has a question. So she's asking, Erika, do you use a bead stop or tie a knot, or how do you start with your thread? Usually I don't. I just leave 10 to 12 centimeters of tail, and then I secure and trim it later. I actually have 2 cameras now, so I will be showing you not only my face, but also my hands as I am working, and also some illustrations to make it easier for you to follow the workshop, even if you don't have possibility now to print the PDF file. So let me know, did you do your material check? Do you have everything prepared? I will not start until I get confirmation that you are here with me and you are prepared and everything is fine at this moment. I'm going to just read some comments in the meanwhile until you tell me that you are prepared. So, Teresa. Hello, Teresa, she says, hi all, I am excited to do the project when I get home. In the meantime, I'm enjoying watching while I am at a medical appointment. Teresa, I hope everything is okay with you and see you later. And I see Teresa saying, ready, and Tanya is ready, and Sherry is ready, and Renata is 100% prepared. Nancy is also ready to go, and Kay, and everyone, and Joanna, and Liv, and Carol, and Mirna, and Mektab, and Glory. So let's get started. So, oh, my 2019 Bead and Button Show teacher's badge is in the picture. I will remove that. Okay, it's attached to my lamp. So I am switching to my second camera and yeah, okay, then the badge is out of the picture. Good. And I am also putting the first illustration on screen already. Here it is. I will always show at the same time my face, I will show my beading mat, and I will also show 2 illustrations maximum. So Barbara has a question if she can substitute 6mm pearls. Try it with 6mm fire polished, please, Barbara. So, as I said, I like to leave a tail of 10 to 12 centimeters. And I will build my first little square. Sorry, I'm moving my light, so my beading mat is a bit lighter. Okay, so I start by picking up 4 pieces of 6mm round pearls. This will be the walls of my first row unit. Well, 2 walls and ceiling and floor, of course. Sorry, just moving my lamp to, okay, it's good. So I have the 4 pieces of the 6mm round pearls, and then I bead through the first round pearl 1 more time, and when I pull my thread, then I see I am beading through it from the same direction as before, and when I am beading through it, then I see that the pearls are shaped as a square already. So I already built my first row unit. And now, in the second step, you might think like, Erika, why do you do this? This is the same. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to repeat the thread path to make sure that your little row unit, your first building, is sturdy. And you see on my pictures, in the top left corner, you see P6 on the first image. And that is an abbreviation for pearl 6mm. If you are familiar with my beading tutorials, then you might recognize it already. I always use a logical abbreviation, so in this case P6, pearl 6mm. And as there is nothing in the top left corner of the second image, the second graphic, then you know that in the second step, I am not adding any new beads. Moreover, there is a little house, as we are beady architects this month. And when the walls of the house are blue, then that means that we are building the walls in that step. But when they turn black, then it means that I am just repeating thread passes and I am not building new walls or new ceilings, anything. The red roof, that's just for fun. We will not bead the roofs. We are not there yet. We are just building the walls. So I have this square and I have repeated the thread path to make it sturdy. And I would like to ask you something, dear ladies and gentlemen, if we have any gentlemen out there, that please, from time to time, just let me know, Erika, this is going well, or Erika, I have a question, because in difference with the Zoom class, when during a Zoom class, we actually see each other and we are interacting, then now I don't see your beadwork and I don't see your faces. I don't hear you talking, but I would love to know how are you. So let me know. Let me know in a comment, please. And I am now hiding this first step, and I will put the third step already on the screen. So I am exiting this pearl here, and I will build my second little house, my second row unit. But as I told you, between the first house and the second house, we don't need to double the wall. That wall can be part of the first house and the second house. So the second house already has one wall, and I need to pick up only 3 new walls. And then I am beading through that first ready-made wall from the same direction as before. And when I pull my thread, Then I see already the second unit. And I'm checking on the comments. In the meanwhile, Renate says that she's trying it with 4mm beads. The basic structure will work just perfect, but the TILA beads, they will be maybe a little bit too big. Let's see. Or maybe it will be enough to add one number 15 seed bead. You will see later. And Lutka, a very old beading friend back from Slovakia, when I used to have a bead shop there, she likes the two cameras. And someone is excited. Okay, Sarah, classic. She's already adding her TILA beads. Okay, yeah, that's also a classic thing during No One Has to Bead Alone, that usually beaders are already like way ahead of me, or for example, Katalin is beading her second color combination, or Miriam, and I am still at the beginning, but I want to take it slowly, slowly, because I know that there are many of us here for whom this is their first experience with right angle bead. So when I added this second little house, then afterward, I will just repeat the thread path to make it sturdier. So you can easily see it from the second illustration, because there are no beads in the corner. And from the little black houses, that all the walls are already black and you don't need to add anything new. So we are just repeating the thread path. And Nancy, she's actually using already double thread to make it stiffer. And that's just a great way. And then you don't need to reinforce that much. And someone, Facebook user, is asking, is 10LB FIRELINE too thick? I don't have 4LB. I would say I am pretty sure that with 6LB it works. With 10LB, I don't have much experience, but you really don't need many thread passes here. So I would totally give it a go if you don't have anything else. Mariella has 15 houses built. 140 of us all together. So I reinforced my second house, and now I need to get in position to bead my third house. So simply, I just bead through 2 round pearls. So then I am again not in the ceiling, not in the floor, but I am in the wall, because I am building now one house after another. I am not building a multi-story building. It's also possible, but I am building one house after another. So I am always starting the new unit from a wall unit. So now, again, this bead that is part of the second house, it will become also part of the third house. So in step 6, I need to pick up only 3 new walls. 3 6mm round pearls. I bead through the same pearl again that I was exiting before picking up the new pearls in the same direction as before. And when I added the 3 new beads, you can guess what's happening. I am going to reinforce it. And then I'm getting again in position for building my 4th little building. So that's actually everything for the base of the bracelet that we need to do. We need to do as long a sequence of these little units as needed for a bracelet or a bangle. I would not recommend to attach the clasp right away before you would do the embellishment on the top, and or before you and I would also not recommend to join the beginning and the end of the sequence into a bangle until you have added the fire polished beads, because they will pull everything together a bit, so the bracelet will actually become a little bit shorter when you have added the fire polished beads. And Mariella, she has experience with the very thick FIRELINE, and it's a very good notion actually. For this step it will be okay, but there will be number 15s in the design. That might be a struggle indeed. And Sarah says, raw crow pro eat a lot of thread. That's so very true. By the way, even if Helga was designed to be a bracelet, then it is also very possible to bead something else from it. For example, today I will bead not a full bracelet, but, well, I will bead, for example, a little pendant, this long pendant. So there are different possibilities to use this. And the top, the top of the units, they can be actually decorated in many different ways. Attaching TILA beads, that's just one of the possibilities, but yeah, it is not a cliche that possibilities are endless here. So I plan to put together a little inspiration picture for you, showing you that in what different ways you can decorate the top of raw units. And since, for example, a cubic right angle weave unit is made out of raw units, well, a cube is made out of little squares, then when we will make 3D shapes, then it will be possible to decorate the sides of the 3D shapes in the same way. So here is, for example, the matching earring for Helga. This is my bangle, and then this is my my earring. Then you see that 4 sides of the little cube, that is a big raw unit, by the way, the earring. So 4 sides of the cube, they are decorated in the same way as my bracelet. So it will, even when we leave right angle weave behind and we switch to CLASP and Pro, then the same types of decorations will also become very handy. And when I publish my ideas for the top decorations, then I would be really happy if you have shared also your ideas under that post. Brainstorming together, I think, is wonderful, and that's how beading, that's how we get even more and more ideas. And sharing knowledge, it's, I think, absolutely the way to go. And Mirna says, I'm adding the TILA beads already, but I'm making earrings, so I am cheating. I'm happy that you shared your dirty secret with us, Mirna. And I'm curious to see your earrings. So actually, it's also very true. It can also be an earring. If you don't want to bead this type of earring, then you can bead this long earring. And I will stick to just this 4 units of right angle weave, and I will show you now how to decorate the top of the row units. So this 8 picture, what I showed just for a second, it was just to like, how do you get into position? So I already beaded through the ceiling, and then I bead through the side wall of the unit to get into position. And this is the right position, not only to build the next row unit, but also it is the right position to start attaching our TILA beads. So in the next step, I will show you how to attach the TILA bead, or how to start attaching the TILA beads. And in the meanwhile, I would love to get some update from you, that how are you doing? 132 beaders here, so I would love to hear how is it going. And from the next pictures, I will not be drawing little houses in the corners, since all my houses, all my row units are already finished, and now I am decorating. So I will be working, I can put aside my 6mm round pearls, and I will be working with this beautiful, beautiful mustard colored MIYUKI TILA beads. And thank you for the update, ladies. Sherry is working with the TILAs. Chloe has done her base. Virginia says, very well, I believe. I'm very happy to hear that, Virginia. And anonymous Facebook user says, I am doing great, thank you. Another fellow beader, I am beading a bracelet and already do the TILAs. And 2, that is so many proofs that I talk too much. My husband keeps saying the same. I never believed him, but it might seem that I talk too much. It's great that he's not hearing me. He's out for a bike ride, so I am safe. I will not admit. So now I am exiting the last wall of my last row unit, and I will be working backwards, adding a TILA bead and some seed beads on top of each unit. So I start with picking up a number 15 seed bead, then a number 11 seed bead, and then I pick up a TILA bead. If you are a perfectionist beader, then you probably want to be careful. How do you turn the TILA beads? The TILA beads, I will try to show you. Okay, it will not work with this webcam, but one side of the TILA beads, it's a little bit bumpy and the other side is flat. So you want to turn them in such a way that the flat part of the TILA beads, it is resting on top of the row unit, and the little bump is on the top. So one of our friends says, I am running out of thread. Will you please share how to add thread? Thank you. So I will explain it before I would continue with adding the TILA, so you can also continue. So my way of adding thread is that I like to bead to a place where I am between 2 bigger beads. Here it doesn't make a difference, but yeah, for example, here, between 2 6mm round pearls. Then I like to tie a knot, withdraw �𝐻 and 𝐻, you always have to tie a knot when you are finishing your thread. Or go around like many, many, many times until it's super sturdy. So tie a knot around the thread that is like between these two 6mm round pearls, and then you can continue just like repeating thread passes just any way you want to. When you will bead some more, when you are not finished yet, then I recommend to repeat thread passes in big beads. And then after a while, when you feel like, okay, this is this is sorry, at the meanwhile I started to read the comments too. So when you think that it is sturdy enough, then you need to just trim your thread. And again, when you are adding new thread, then just bead around some of the bead through some beads, tie a knot, and then bead some more and bead to the place where you want to continue, and trim all ends. Teresa is asking if my rolling of the R's is my Spanish influence. Would be surprised because my Spanish actually sucks. So back to beading. So I am exiting the 6mm pearl here, and after the 6mm pearl, I pick up a number 15 seed bead, I pick up a number 11 seed bead, and a TILA bead. And on the other side of the TILA bead, I pick up a number 11 and then a number 15. So always next to the TILA beads, you will have always the number 11s. And then I am beading through the same pearl one more time, pulling my thread tight, and I am beading through the pearl in the same direction as before. And then I want to attach also this other hole of the TILA bead. And to get into position, I bead through two pearls, through this one and this one. By the way, while I am here, I would like to mention a basic rule with right angle weave. You never, ever, ever bead through the beads like this. So for example, through all the floor beads at the same time without adding something in between. You always, if you are not adding new beads, then you always take a right angle turn. So I went through this bead and then I turned through this bead. So also imagine that this would be the situation when I want to secure my thread and I'm not adding any new beads. So imagine then I would not want to secure my thread through these beads, but I would always, after every bead, turn in a right angle direction. So I attached my seed beads and the TILA to this pearl, and then I beaded through this one at the bottom and this one on the side. And now I am attaching the second hole of the TILA. So I pick up a number 15 and a number 11, and then I bead through the open hole of the TILA bead. Then I pick up more seed beads, now a number 11 and a number 15, and I bead through the same pearl one more time. And when I pull my thread, then you can see that the TILA beads and the seed beads, they sit nice on top of the row unit. And we have a question here. So Kay, hello Kay, she says, how many units should you do for an average bracelet? So I have made so far a bangle, and my bangle, it's actually made of 23 units, but it's a little bit too big for me. So I would, if I made another bangle, then I would make 22 only. I have a smallish size wrist, and if I wanted to make a bracelet with a clasp, then I could reduce the number of the units by, as I see, at least by 5. So for my size, it would be something around 18, 19 raw units. But you need to test it for yourself. And now back to beading. So what I need to do is I need to attach TILA beads and seed beads on top of each unit, and I can attach the second TILA right away. Since this bead is part of the last unit and also the penultimate, then I can attach the next top decoration right away. So I picked up number 15, 11 TILA, then number 11, number 15, and I bead through the pearl, the same pearl, one more time. I pull my thread, and then I take 2 right angle turns through the top bead, the ceiling bead, and then through the next wall. I pick up number 15, number 11. I bead through the second hole, the open hole of the second TILA bead, and then I pick up number 11, number 15. Okay, sometimes that's the hardest task, to pick up seed beads. And then I bead through the same pearl one more time. And now I am in position to start the third top decoration. And Nancy, thank you so much for sharing your experience. That's why I love these videos, because we can all interact and help each other out right away. Nancy says, I am using 17 since I am adding a clasp. Thank you, Nancy. So I am adding the third top decoration on top of my third row unit. I bead through 2 pearls while always making sure that I turn in a right angle, and then I pick up number 15, number 11. I bead through the open hole of the TILA, and then again number 11, number 15, and beading through the pearl. And Chloe says, I wonder if you could add Monte crystals on top of the TILAs for more sparkles, maybe another time. That's another kind of top decoration we will actually be doing next week. So one of the project, and very, very good idea, Chloe, very absolutely possible. So one of the projects for next week is this earring, when we will actually combine flat right angle weave with cubic right angle weave. And I added 2 Preciosa rhinestone montes on top of the cubic right angle weave unit. And I really, really like how it turned out. So absolutely, absolutely possible. You just need to like experiment a little bit, like what kind of seed beads, how many seed beads. I will come back to you later during the month with more ideas. And I am also looking forward to seeing your ideas how to decorate your row units. And I am adding the top decoration to my last row unit. So picking up number 15, number 11 TILA bead, then number 11, number 15, I bead through the pearl, then I go further and I bead through 2 pearls, and again number 15, number 11, and through the TILA, and then number 11, number 15, and again through the pearl. So this is how it looks like at the moment. I know you ladies have like 17 and 18 and 20 units. I have 4. I was doing my best. So now that I added all the top decorations, I will be beading all around my motif. You do the same with your bracelet. And I will be adding 3 millimeter fire polished beads between all the floor beads and then between all the ceiling beads. So now I am beading in a long line without taking right angle corners, right angle turns, but I am always filling in something into the gaps. On the other side, and again, I do the same. I am adding fire polished beads, 3 millimeter fire polished beads into the gaps. And now, if you have a bracelet, then you can add the clasp to this last unit using some seed beads, or also if you are making an earring, you can do the same. If you like drops, crystal drops, then you can add a crystal drop at the bottom, like the one at the bottom of the Margita earring, for example. So there are many different possibilities. And Sarah says, I have done it with 3mm, 4mm, and 6mm, and mesh or chatons on the top. So beautiful. Can imagine, Sarah. And Maria, 4 bicons with number 15s between as decoration. That's one of my favorites, Maria. Thank you for bringing it to the attention of the ladies. And indeed, if it shortens by a lot, then you can just add a unit and a TILA bead on top of it. So that's why I say that don't add the clasp until you are 100% sure that the length is okay. So ladies, this is what I wanted to show you today. Usually after a No One Has to Read Alone session, a kind of an after party is happening in my own Facebook group, in the Storytelling Beading Club, which is an exclusive place for my for the beaders who like to bead my designs and who have ever made a purchase through my website, or who have taken a course with me or a Zoom class with me. And we can do the same also here, that after the broadcast or when you have watched the video, I would really, really like to see your work in progress project, your finished jewels. So please keep taking pictures, uploading them to the groups, sharing your experience, sharing your ideas with each other. Brainstorming together is what gets us, helps us getting forward and forward with our beadwork. So please share your pieces with others. I am really looking forward. Also, please ask all your questions. If you are not watching this in real life, then also just tag me and I will do my best to answer everything. So thank you so much everyone for watching. I will put back the big picture of the jewel on screen. If I can, yeah, here it is. And I will look through the comments before I would go, to make sure that I don't miss any questions and I don't miss the opportunity to answer you right away. Okay, I also like to read when you like it. So Chris says, loving this so much, Erika. Thank you so much for joining me, Chris. And I hope to see you next week too. And Monique says, hi, thanks for wonderful tutorial. I wonder if it will be available for later view or only live. The video stays here, and actually I have this page where I collect all the links for the previous videos and the tutorials. So you just need to visit the storytellingjeweler.com/no-one-has-to-bead-alone/ and you will be able to rewatch everything. I will not remove videos. I am actually building up a YouTube channel, so the videos will also go there. And Lutka is asking for the instructions. It is just the page I posted, Lutka. You can find it there. And Anita says, this has been great, Erika. The steps were very clear. I love it that you include the diagrams as you teach. Thank you. How many patterns will you be sharing with seed beads and more before the next live video? I think there are three patterns scheduled for next week, 2 as PDFs, and then the third one will come as a PDF and a video. I am not 100% sure about that. I will check my schedule, but I think, okay, I can do it actually now. So I am checking my schedule. On Monday, I will publish the tutorial for the matching earring. Then on Wednesday, we have a new tutorial. And indeed, on Friday, the third one is coming. And on Friday, we can again bead together during this video. And I see lots of thank yous, and thank you so much, ladies. I really, really appreciate your company. Thank you so much. This is the best motivation. So, Renate, this is important. So Renate used 4mm beads And it was enough for her to use number 15s with the TILAs. The 4mm fire polish I substituted with 2mm, so the 3mm fire polish she substituted with 2mm rounds. So it works out absolutely with smaller beads too. Renata, please make sure to show us your result. I'm really, really happy that you decided to experiment. And Virginia is asking, are you still out of stock on the dangles? And how long does it take to get things shipped to the States? I thought they were gorgeous. I have a lot of dangles again, Virginia. It's worse to check back. And at the moment, thanks God, shipping works fine. So for example, we had a shipment to the States recently, that arrived in 2 weeks. Usually I would say 2 to 3 weeks. We have track and trace always available. To Sweden, 4 days. 4 days just now. So, and Virginia, you can also write me a message or an email if you would like to ask about the dangles or something else. And Teresa is asking if this was the fastest Friday session on record. Definitely not me being the fastest beader, as I managed to complete only 4 row units, but me talking the fastest, that's possible. So, just scrolling through the comments. Thank you. So thank you very, very much, ladies. I am really looking forward to next week and to seeing your creations. Keep them coming. Have a wonderful, peaceful weekend and creative, of course. Bye-bye.